Hello my diamonds, it's me, Colorbling. Today on Colorbling and we're going to be talking about video games. Now, my channel started off as a Let's Play channel, so it kind of makes sense for me to have an episode of Colorbling and that's dedicated to video games. My favorite video games were listed in my introductory video, so I'm going to go over them very quickly. That way, I'm not wasting all my time just listing them off. And they are BioShock series, Batman Arkham series, Far Cry series, Resident Evil series, Silent Hill series, Dragon Age series, I've lost count already, Tomb Raider series, The Killing Floor games, The Forest, Don't Starve, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, of course, Outlast, Dishonored, and The Evil Within. Just to name a few. That said, it's tough for me to pin down a favorite genre of video game because my taste in games vary so much. So, looking back on that list, I'd say that like survival horror is a good one, or adventure with horror elements in it. Yeah, like things like that where it's not one specific genre in and of itself, it's a little bit of everything. Now, I bet you're wondering a few questions, like, why do I like these games? What do I look for in a good game? And why is there a black curtain behind me? And if you're asking those questions, I'm glad that you did, and I will answer all of them. Now, why do you like these games? Well, I like these games because they're challenging in different ways. Survival horror, and I said that was an example of a genre I like, it's something that I've always enjoyed and been thrilled by, and I think a part of that is because of my family's like upbringing. See, my dad is former military, and my mother is, one of her hobbies is disaster preparedness, so when you take that into consideration, the concept of survival horror kind of makes sense for me and my family, and like as something that interests all of us, and including myself. I like adventure games pretty much for the same reason that anybody else does, is because it's fanciful and it's amazing and it's action-packed and it's really an escapist kind of genre. You can escape into it and kind of forget that you have a mundane life, if you have a mundane life. I mean, everybody has different reasons for liking it, but that one's mine. And I ultimately feel that the biggest reason I like any game is if it tells a story, and adventure games certainly do that very well. I'm a writer at heart. I like these video games because they tell a story, and that's one of the things that I look for in a good game. I look for a compelling story, well-written characters, gameplay mechanics that I can easily adapt to, a little leeway in the story that lets my mind fill in the gaps. And by that I mean, like, there's not plot holes, but it has room in it for me to let my mind wander, creatively speaking. I love a good story, so it's so important for a video game to have characters that make up that story, that are compelling, that I can empathize with, that I have an emotional connection to and an investment in. If I don't care about the characters, then I'm not gonna play the game. It's just that simple. And really that's the same for gameplay mechanics, which is something that every gamer looks for. If I can't play the game, I'm not frickin' playing it. It's really that simple. World building in video games is probably my favorite thing about them. All of my favorite games have that in common, where they have these really big or fanciful worlds in them. And, I mean, look at Dragon Age. Dragon Age, for example, has 2 books just dedicated to the world that they take place in. And yes, I own both of them. The Batman Arkham universe draws from one of the biggest fictional universes, like, in existence right now, and that's the DC universe. I want games where I can sit somewhere and really think about different things that don't follow the main characters. Like, I want to be able to sit and daydream while I'm avoiding my homework about, like, a bard in Val Royeaux who has to try and juggle being a bard and 50 million other things in their life. I want to sit there and daydream about what it's like being a barista in Gotham City. I mean, it intrigues me just as much as the actual story, and that's why it is so important to me. Like, that's the biggest thing about it. a curtain behind me is because I don't want you guys to see my room. You don't need to see that. No, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Video games are so important to me, and that's because they're an escape, they're an outlet, they are a springboard for my creativity. I want games that challenge me in a creative way when I'm not even playing them. I want games that stick with me, that make me laugh or cry or scream or cheer or throw my controller in a good way, like the story frustrates me, not the gameplay. I want games that leave me as impassioned as the books I read, the television and movies I watch, and frankly, considering the advances that we're making with video games, it's not difficult to do. I mean, for example, Until Dawn is basically a movie with mechanics, if you think about it. And I feel like that's the direction that a lot of games are going today, because there's people who want a game for the story and just for the story. And there's nothing wrong with that. The great thing about video games is that they are so multifaceted and varied that they have something for everybody. Like, literally everybody. So, that said, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you liked this, give it a like. Check out my channel for more, and if you subscribe today, you are officially a diamond. So, do that. Hit that subscribe button. I hope you're doing well. Please take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next episode. So, bye guys.